Well, hello everyone. Kay here. I am early today and I'm just trying out. Now I've lost my chat. I'm going to have to restore that. Where did it go? There it is. Uh yeah, so I needed to go early just to make sure. Okay, so see this camera. I have a camera, light, and microphone that's new. Didn't think I was going to get it to work. Last night it didn't work. It is working, but at the same time, remember the issues we have with the light going down. The sun is just about to go down and it'll be darker in here and I may have to make adjustments. I don't know if this little it has a little ring light on it. I don't know if I've never had a ring light. Not since I was acting anyway. And yeah, so I need what I need to do is next time I'm going to have a keyboard so I can look at the camera and type the chat and see the chat up here so I'm not looking down. But I mean, I'm sure you see other YouTubers looking down at the chat window. I'm trying to get the chat up higher, but if I move the this is all about getting all the adjustments right, okay, before we actually start. But if I move the chat window up higher, then I'm typing like this, and that's not good either. So, I mean, I suppose I could try that. Hold on. That's what this is for. But like I said, then you have to reach up to type in the chat. Now, if you follow a lot of YouTubers that do live streams, you probably don't see them commenting because they have too many people commenting, and there's just no way they can comment. Whoa, hold on. Everything's moving. There we go. Actually, I can't see what you, I guess I can see what you're seeing. This is all very strange. Um, and see, there goes the sun. So I need to be over here looking at you. Once I get, and then I've got this string of peppers going right over my head. That's really obnoxious. Hold on. Ta-da. Aren't they beautiful though? My peppers. Okay. So that's better that way. And I want you to be able to see the fireplace because I went to the trouble to make a fire. Golly, how am I supposed to show you the fireplace? I am blocking the fireplace no matter what I do. You know how Mary at Mary's Nest, she has this beautiful fireplace right behind her? So why can't I have that? I have a beautiful fireplace. This is why I went live early so we could work out all the kinks, okay? Bear with me. Okay, there's the fireplace. Oh goodness. I think I'm going to have to turn the lights on. That's not strong enough. It's just an on and off light for this little light. Hold on. Ugh, I hate that. That was weird. I mean, look how dark it is, and it's not even dark outside. Okay, this has to come down. Got it. Oh, goodness. Okay, that is right in front of the chat window. Now I won't be able to see anything anybody says. That won't work. Let me pop the chat out. Okay, we have 10 more minutes to get this straight, to get this right. How do I pop the chat out? I can't even see. So you can just imagine these people that have these really beautiful live streams. How many people it takes to get all the lighting, the sound. And it's not. Well, the lighting's a lot better, but I mean that's only because the sun is like doing its last little thing over the um thank you, Kat. Kat says you look fine, relax. Well, I'm just trying to get centered in the frame, okay? So that's got to go back. My computer's in the way. That's the problem. Isn't that weird? See, I've never done this before. I've only used the webcam because I'm not a techie person. Okay. Down a little more. Where's my fire? Oh, it's going to pick up. I put a log kind of right in front so you can't see the flames. Thank you, Kat. The little blue fly is here. Your room was very peaceful when the lights were down. Don't worry, it's going to get dark again. I only turned the overhead on for a second. I hate the way that looks. So there you are. I have to remember to look there. Now the chat window is right there, so I can kind of see. The thumbs up button looks neglected. Daryl's right, everybody. Please give me a thumbs up. This is hard work. Oh man, I think Linda's going to tune in any second. Happy New Year, Rick. Thank you. Now, see, in order to check where I'm at, might be nice to sit up straight, right? As you can tell, I still have my wreath up. My fire's going to kick in any second, I think. Yeah, it's burning back there. It's going to catch on in a little bit. Oh, thank you, Ken. Dorothy Anderson, thank you so much. She says I'm fine. Oh, well, let's see. Technically, we're not even supposed to be online for another 7 minutes. So if anyone has any questions for me, hey, this is impromptu. If anybody has any questions, ask them now because I'll be able to read them. The little blue fly, I'm located in Middle Tennessee, which is my home state. Oh yeah, that's another thing with this adjustable arm is it doesn't tilt. See, if it tilted, I could have it higher. Yeah. What a dumb arm. Actually, if I had it over there, maybe I'll do that next time. If I have it on the back and it's forward, then no, because it's got to be level. It can't be. It can't be tilted like that. See what I mean? That won't work. There goes the light, and it's not even gone yet. Honestly, I don't know if this is going to be enough light. Tell me what you think. Because you see that light back there, that's going to go completely dark. And then we have no occasional lighting. I have actually that one lamp in the sunroom, but oh, you know what I could do? I do have a what do you call it? A dimmer on that. That helps a little bit. We can use that if we have to. All right, come on, fire. See, I can see flames, but I don't think you can. Okay, did anybody have any questions other than where am I located? Ken, thank you for asking. I am feeling a little bit, it's remarkable that I'm feeling better today because we worked, my son and I worked so hard, especially on Friday because we were outside. And I just thought, I hope I don't wake up with pneumonia. I really thought when I went to bed, I thought, I'm going to get pneumonia. But I did a Epsom salt bath. I took vitamins. I took 2 doses of vitamin C after I came in, and we had a nice meal. We had salmon and broccoli from. No, that was the night before. Sorry, we had. I made green beans that I had in the freezer with my potatoes and some local carrots, and I made pork chops that Walker brought. His friend has a farm in North Carolina, and he had butchered a hog, and these pork chops came from his hog. So I fried them up in some einkorn flour and some of the lard that Stephen at Nature's Always Right. He butchers his own hogs too, and he butchers all of his own animals. And he had given me some lard when he visited me last spring, and so cooked them up in that. It was really good. But I took so much vitamin C that you know what vitamin C does when you take a whole lot. Okay, mm, enough said. Let's see who's here. Delma's here. Thank you. I do feel a little better. And I went down for a 2 hour nap after Walker left today, and I thought I am just going to sink into this bed and just have such a good rest. And after about 50 minutes, I'm laying there and I'm thinking about the live stream and how I'm going to do this equipment and this thing and that thing and all the things that are going on in the world, which, if you stick around long enough, we'll get around to talking about a few of them. But I just said, what's the point in laying here? I need to get up, get the fire started, get some makeup on. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. Uh-oh. Hey, Ken. Oh, I would go get the bottle, but I gave it to my son. There's a product called Clear Lung. If you haven't taken it or checked it out, do check it out. Gosh, it's getting dark, and I can't turn up this ring light. I don't think there's just like one little button on the back of it, so I don't know. You can't. Oh, it's so strange. Okay, hang on. My computer's in the way. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Okay. Technically, we haven't even started yet. Well, we're 1 minute away. Maybe I'll get this situated in 1 minute. So, oh, there we go. It's counterintuitive. It's backwards, in other words. Okay. And it's wobbly. I'm going to complain about that. I did this Kickstarter campaign. I contributed to a Kickstarter campaign for Movo, who does a lot of microphones and all of that kind of video filming equipment, blogging, and all that. And this was 2 years ago, and this equipment had been sitting on my shelf for literally 2 years. And I thought, I just walked around my house and I pulled out everything that I never opened up. And I said, here, read the instructions, set it up for my son. That's what it looks like. So this thing is what's recording me right now. I'm not using this thing because it's so short, you know. I'm using the adjustable arm like you would on just a cheap adjustable lamp, you know. But unfortunately, it doesn't have a tilt feature, and it needs a tilt feature. So, yeah, the fire, I knew it was going to get going finally. Catherine is here. I can almost do my shout outs. Linda is here. Linda may have to leave to go to church. Debbie is here. Good afternoon. I went, for those of you who are wondering, I started a little bit early to try because I'm using some new equipment and I wanted to see if it worked. I'm still off center. Maybe if I just move over. Yeah, okay. Sit up straight. That might help. Okay. Let's see. Walnut banana bread. Dolphin bear. Fantastic. The shroud. Good afternoon. Annette. Thank you. Well, it's because of the ring light. Definitely. It doesn't seem very bright, but I guess it's bright enough. Catherine is here. Joshua is here. Well, hello, Joshua. How you doing? Haven't heard from you in a while. Lonnie is here. And F. Brooks. Well, they're asking me about rainwater. Yeah, if you noticed my short video, I bought a water distiller and I bought pure water. If you are interested in doing a little research for yourselves, I bought it from a company called Rocky Mountain. Oh, gosh, if anybody's interested, I can look up the link and put it underneath. He is a distributor and he goes around and checks out all the various products available and then he carries the best ones. So I had a long conversation with him. It's a small family company. And he has actually left the Rocky Mountains and now lives in Florida with his family, but he has this unit, which I put in a short video yesterday so you can see it. And it takes 3.5 hours to make almost a gallon. There's a metal tank inside that you fill up, and then right beside that, it fills up a glass gallon jar, except not all the way. And so you can just keep that going around the clock till you got 10 gallons of distilled water sitting around. I've got about, I don't know, 3 or 4 gallons. Somebody had told me, obviously this is very important to have if the grid goes down or if the water goes down, if the water's not sanitary. I mean, you can always boil your water, but distilling it is so much better. But somebody was telling me that they had started feeding only distilled water to their senior cat. And I have a near 19-year-old cat. And she has mobility issues. She's virtually blind. She can't hear that well. And so they had noticed a big improvement in their cat, in their senior cat, after feeding them distilled water for a while. instead of, I was already feeding her filtered water, but anyway. So welcome everyone. Terry is here, my girl over in North Carolina. Let's see, Deborah Lewis is here. Well, thank you. It's called a ponytail. Ponytail. I thought, what am I going to do with my hair tonight? Actually, it's a ponytail with a knot. I didn't feel like doing it 3 times. I thought that would be too tight. So anyway. Jane Marie is here from Maine. 100 people already. That's fantastic. Ken, thank you for telling me that. I didn't notice. It's way over there on the screen. And I hadn't looked that far over because I'm too far off camera. Let's see. Yes, pure water is expensive. I will say that, everyone. It's a very expensive machine. And she is recommending what she bought instead: 1 gallon H2O brand distiller for $2.79 and free shipping from the Wall store. I guess you mean Walmart. Linda, oh, I already said hello to Linda. Lighting is complimentary. Seems good to me. Good. I haven't tried distilling the rainwater because I don't have an easy way of getting my rainwater out of my cistern. The cistern, because there was no city water out here when the house was built, so they had to have a cistern or a well, but the well water around here is contaminated from the zinc mine, so the water tastes very bad if you have a well. So wells are out. And so they had put in a cistern when they built the house, and they had plumbed it to come back to the house with there's a water pump and a bladder inside that pumps back up to the house, and that's it looks like it's about a 10 gallon, maybe it's 15 gallon bladder, maybe it's 20, I don't know, it's hard for me to tell, underneath the house, and that supplies the plumbing to the house. But when you sell a house, you can't have that hooked up, so the previous owners had unhooked that so they could put it back on city water and sell the house and not have an issue. So it's been like that since I've been here. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's plumbed to come back to my 2 exterior spigots, which I use for my side garden and my raised bed garden. But this year I had such problems with it leaking that I just abandoned the idea because it was such a worry. I was always worrying about it. And I just said, you know what? I am going to get the best hose filter that I can find and use city water on the garden. And that's what I did. So Ecocentric is here from Newfoundland. I hope I said that right. Linda is here. Greetings. What is grapple? Grapple. She had grapple, not snow. I guess that's some kind of icy slush, maybe. Let's see. Why is this not moving? Okay, somebody's talking about a CPAP machine. Yeah. Yeah, well, Carl, if you're on a budget, and I think you might be, you might want to try this one that Jill King recommended, because the one I got is more expensive for sure. Let's see. Good afternoon to M. Man, I hope I'm going to be able to read it. Light is fading. Is it getting too dark, or is it enough light on me? I have one more light I can move closer, and that's about it. What is drops by Berkey to preserve the water? Are we answering a question, or what are you commenting? Let's see. Have I said hello to everybody? I hope so. Caroline Leggio from New England. Hope I said that right. There's a big thing that's okay. You have this live chat. It's like that long, but then YouTube has this big thing right in the middle that's just in the way, and I don't know why. Let's see, Mrs. J. Happy New Year. Let's see, Jupe is here. Thank you. And Daryl only. Oh, here we go again. I don't want 72 days till spring. I haven't even had a chance to unwind yet from fall. I have so much to do in the house. I would literally like to take 3 months before I even think about anything to do with gardening. But I know that's not possible with the channel and everything, but I would like to. Marilee Nutt, afternoon. J. Cree. That may be what I have. I just laid the paperwork somewhere. Oh well. I think that's what I have, but I'm not sure. Rocky Mountain Distillers, I think, might be the name of the company. I would love to recommend him because he's a great guy and he took a lot of time talking to me on the phone. Susan is here. You're what? Susan says, I just learned that Switzerland voted no to the universal basic income in 2016. Really? That was a thing back then? I didn't even know that was a thing back then. Oh, you got that right. It's Jothan, right? Do I have that name right? Ecocentric. It's been a while. Let's see. Commercials are on, and yes, dark. Yes, it's too dark. Okay. Guys, I was on 2.5 hours last time, and I cut off the ads, and I didn't make any money. And so, if you would just indulge me, I think they're only gonna we're just gonna try today. If it's a hassle, you let me know. I mean, they are supposed. It's YouTube's. You say yes or no, and then they do it, and they're not. It's not supposed to be a huge interruption. Okay, I'm gonna get some more light. I mean, I would have to get. Oh man, where's your production team when you need one? How's the microphone? Anybody? All right. The 4 o'clock is tough because there's all this light in the house, and then there isn't. Come on, don't do that to me. There's not a way to tighten it. Hold on. It's like this cheap little screw thing. Golly, you've got to be kidding. What a piece of, you know what? All right. Hopefully I'm in the middle of the screen. I can't tell. No, that doesn't do anything. No, it wants to just wobble. It's wobbling. What a piece of junk. Hold on. Going for a spin. That may be the only thing I can do. That tightened it up. Oh, good. That tightened it up. Okay, sorry about that. It was about 3 seconds, the whole commercial. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Okay, the lighting is good, they say. Okay, I want to give a huge shout out. Thank you, Kathy Kennedy from Georgia. Yeah, Caroline. Let's see how long it is good. Thank you, Marilee. Yes, thank you, everyone. I want to give a huge shout out. I didn't even know about this until Friday. Yeah, I think it was Friday. I got an email from Julianne. Is Julianne here? If you are, hold up your hand. And she said she had given me a tip on PayPal, which that hasn't happened before. So I didn't even look at PayPal all week because I just have a couple of people on Patreon that I don't even deserve them, but I'm so grateful that somebody's willing to even give me $5 a month for what I do. And so I looked on there, and it was a big tip. Catherine Sword also left a tip on PayPal. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's very validating. And I don't expect anyone who is not financially able to do anything except just watch, share, and hit that like button. And that's enough. But thank you very much. Yeah, I'll say, Dean. They're out for lunch permanently. Let's see, Daryl. Yeah, I'm not doing the slips. I'm not, Daryl's doing the sweet potato slips. I'm only doing the way I've been doing it, which I really like. Gosh, is Betty Freckles here from Canada? Lisa Gawker. I wish I could make this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to make this bigger so I can read it easier. Hey, there you go. Wow, that's good. Now I can see everything. Planting potatoes, Rick? Inside? Hills Mills, welcome. I haven't heard from you in a while. Let's see. My orchard is deader than a doornail. I mean, it's doing nothing. Deborah Strickland is here. We appreciate that. She's doing something. She's multitasking, and women are very good at that. I used to be a lot better at it than I am now. Heider Santos from Panama City, Panama. Wow. You know what? I haven't even noticed if we have any monitors. So you guys keep an eye out if you see anything untoward, as we used to say, inappropriate. Please point it out to me, and I'll have to try to keep an eye on the chat and delete that or whatever. Last week we had like 3 monitors. Let's see. Okay, microphone is good. Let's see. Okay. Karen Brown is here. I was just almost sent you something today. Rob's Allotment Gardening from the UK. We have the UK. We have Panama City, and oh, good. Teresa is here, the Urban Homesteader. Um, be sure and check out her channel. She's just really gotten started making videos, and she's teaching a lot of tincture workshops up in Idaho, and really doing she deep dived into prepping. Okay. Merrily, yes. I know I was just being facetious. My orchard is dormant, real dormant. Let's see. Yeah, where's Rick that he can plant potatoes? Is what I want to know. Worldwide. Florida is here. Palazzo, Jen is here. Thank you. Let's see. All right. Well, I don't see Betty Freckles from Canada. There's something I wanted to talk about. I guess we should talk about all things gardening first. I was going to point this out. I was going to do a video and I never got around to it, but I just wanted to point this out. I had seen something. I know a lot of you have pets, and I had seen something somewhere, because I see so much stuff and I don't know where I saw it, but somebody had a pet had some real health problems, back and forth to the vet, couldn't figure it out. Pet was literally dying. And I can't remember the process of deduction, how they figured this out, but it turned out, those room deodorizers that you plug in and they put out a little bit of a mist all day long in your house so it doesn't stink. That was killing the cat, because all day long, the animals, their smelling sense is so powerful, and it literally made the cat, almost killed the cat. So keep that in mind if you go and buy those things. Anything that you buy like that has chemicals in it. Okay, yeah, it may smell good. I just remember, in when I lived in New York, there was no such thing as Uber and Lyft and all that stuff. And it was just the yellow cabs, and then some cab drivers, they're in their cabs all day long, and all kinds of people get in and out of those cabs. You never know. And so a lot of them have those scent things that hang down, and you get in there and it's just like, woo. So, I'm very sensitive to scents and perfume, and I think what did it for me. I've told this story before, but when I first went to New York, my first gig in New York as a sort of a model or whatever was as a perfume sprayer in Bloomingdale's. And you walk into Bloomingdale's and you're assaulted as soon as you walk into the whole perfume department, which is vast. Perfume and cosmetics is vast. Anyway, you get spritzed. We would ask people, would you like and it was tea rose. I'll never forget. It's called tea rose. I forgot who made it, but after those, I think I only did it for a couple of days, maybe 3 days or something like that. I don't remember, but I just came home and I was sick. So, I cannot be around perfume all day. I know a lot of women wear perfume and they love it, and it doesn't bother them, but boy, it's other people can be very affected, and cats are very sensitive to this stuff. So you might want to keep that in mind, check it out. And so when I was thinking about this story, I thought, what was that perfume that my mother always had? There was so few brands back then. There was nothing imported. Everything was just a handful of local, US brands. And, none of these huge corporations. Most of these brands started out as family companies. And so I texted my brother, because my mother always had one perfume. And my brother texted right back. I couldn't think of it. He texted right back. He said white shoulders. So that was my mother's perfume. It was all everything was in glass back then. Even Jergens lotion was in glass bottles. I got a spanking one time because I was supposed to be babysitting one of my brothers, and my parents had gone out, and my brother had it was sitting on the dressing table, and he had pulled it over onto the tile floor, and it had smashed into a million pieces. So there's glass everywhere. So I got a spanking because I wasn't responsible in making sure he didn't do something like that. So anyway, be careful with those scents. I just wanted to throw that out. In case you have a pet that has some mysterious illness, might be that. Let's see. Oh my gosh. I can't even get into that yet. Or let's see, what else do I have here? I just went through a bunch of news today because I hadn't looked at anything in 3 or 4 days, and it was just unreal. Yeah, this has to do with this is something that's happening tomorrow. You might find it as Kay. Are you affiliated? No, no, I'm not. I'm not affiliated with K Jewelry. Let's see, K Jewelers. I'm not affiliated with K Jewelers. Irish Spring. Irish Spring is a soap. Thank you, Karen. She's commenting on my artwork. Okay, so this and this is by Howard McKenzie. And I first met Howard. When I first met Howard, I saw this piece. He had just finished it. This was in about 1980, I think. And and it reminded me of myself, and I it was this stoic, strong woman, and I just loved it, and I loved the colors and everything, and so I've had that. I bought that back then, and so when I moved to New York. I thought, this artist is someone who is this fine artist, but he's not in New York. And back then, you had to be in New York if you wanted to have a career. If you wanted to be somebody, you had to physically be in New York. In fact, when I was in New York, Mary Boone Gallery down in Soho, they were the hottest gallery, and I forget the guy's name. I should remember this, but his claim to fame was sticking plates, dinner plates, onto canvas and then painting all around him and everything. And he was the hottest thing going in New York. And I had this notion that when I got to New York, hey, I'm in the art world, the center of the art world. I ought to be able to help Howard in New York, And so I started trying to represent him in New York, and I actually took out ads and put it in Art News, which was the biggest art magazine at the time. The ads cost a fortune, and I rented a booth in the Jacob Javits Center at the what was it called, the art show. Let's see, it was the biggest art show in New York, and fortunately, one man who was a big publisher in Wisconsin, I think, he happened to come in my booth, and he was a collector of prints because he was a publisher, and that it was right up his alley. And so he had prints, and that was a good way for artists to make money back then, is you could sell your prints to um, various corporate collections, and they would hang them in their various corporate offices and so forth. So he had a collection, and he walked in, and he I think he bought about $5,000 worth of work. I think that was 3 pieces, and paid for my booth. So I broke even, but it's very hard to make money. Anyway, he's a really fine artist, but he never wanted to live in New York and be in that rat race. He wanted to live in the country, build his own A-frame, have his own couple acres on top of a mountain, which that's what he and his wife did. And so um, I was able to sell quite a few pieces, and I have a big collection of his work myself. So that's just two of them. But art was my life back in the day. Just wanted to mention tomorrow, January 8th, the German farmers are planning the largest protest that's ever happened in the country. This is very good news. And they have the trucking and the train in the article. It said train drivers union. Train drivers. I think they mean engineers. But anyway, uh, they're joining in too. So we'll see if any of that helps. I mean, their plan, and when I say they, we all know who they is. I mean, you may not know specifically who they is, but the powers that be is what I always say is the powers that be are they want to buy up all the farmland so that individuals can't own their own, and this is a huge part of their plan. So, as you know, Bill Gates is the largest farmland owner in the country now, in our country. Well, Karen, I could do which one? This one? I can show it to you. Well, let's see. No, I can't do that. I was going to take my laptop over there. Maybe another time. I literally, when Walker was here, managed. I had two pieces. We actually hung three pieces. I've had two pieces wrapped in the plastic, just sitting in that hallway there for the entire time I've been here. I have so neglected the inside of my house. So many things upstairs are just in boxes. I haven't organized anything. I've only opened the things I have absolutely have to use. And that's why I said I wish winter would last for 6 more months, because I really need the time to make this place livable. The border crisis. Let's talk about that for just a second. Hmm. The Church of England, Rob, is that the church you're referring to? He said the biggest landowner in UK is the church. Well, I'm talking about farmland. So the biggest landowner in the United States, I'm quite sure, is the U.S. government. But in terms of farmland, I think Bill Gates has now superseded. That is my piece. That's the only original piece of mine that I have on display, Karen. 144. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. And welcome to my homestead. We're talking about a bunch of different things. My son has been here for 3 days, and I haven't seen him in 7 months. So it's just I'm so grateful when he comes and visits, because I just have a whole lot. Where's my to-do list? Oh, here. I'm not gonna let you read it, but just like you can see, it's like everything's scratched out. Now, there were a couple of things on there that I decided to take off the list. But anyway, I didn't even look at Twitter. I didn't look at any social media, Telegram, or anything for 3 days, because I was just trying to survive. And so I was just glancing at everything, trying to catch up, and I literally was looking at headlines. And one headline was the border crisis. Well, this I'm not quoting because I jotted this down, but this is regarding the border crisis. The Mexican cartels are making millions a week just in Eagle Pass, Texas, in human smuggling. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Not nice at all. And let's see what else. Can't read my writing. Oh, I saw this video. I have not done this test. Maybe you'd like to try it. So I have no idea of the veracity of this story, but there was this video, and they had, we all know about GMO plants versus organic plants, plants that are, well, not necessarily just organic. I mean, you have many vegetables that are not GMO, but they aren't organic. So those are over here, and then your GMO plants, the ones that are grown with genetically modified seeds and chemicals. They had, I think it looked like a piece of red pepper, and they had two similar size little strips, like if you were going to just make some strips of red pepper for your salad or whatever. And they said that the GMO plants will swim in salt water. And I'm going, huh? And so they had a camera overhead and two little bowls, and they put the one that was normal in one, and it just floated on the salt water, didn't do anything. And they put the other one, I mean, it looked like a worm, okay? It was doing this all around the bowl. And I go, what am I watching here? I have no idea. It looked like a piece of red pepper that was swimming in the salt water. And I just thought I would throw that out there because it was just so far out. Mountain goddess is here. Yes, yes, of course. Open border affecting cities that used to be nicer, safer. I'm in Texas. Absolutely. Cassandra says yes, it was creepy. Maybe she's talking treasure rescue. Hi, everyone. Okay, so Jeremy's here from Phoenix. Oh, I hope you are buying a lottery ticket every single week, Jeremy. It's not hot in the room now. I was hot before. Kim is here. Same thing happening in the US. Let's see, what did I say? I don't even know what we were talking about, Kat. Sorry, I lost track of the chat there for a minute. Let's see. And this just in, no, this is an old story. This is really hard to believe, but it's actually true. The Army was involved in this, and they released the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. They got a lot of documents that revealed that the Army conducted tests on the citizens of St. Louis and other cities in the 50s and 60s, and they and they sprayed the cities with all of this toxic, horrible stuff, and didn't tell anybody, and didn't even tell the city leaders or anything that they were doing it. And you just think, wow, okay, and they used it as I mean, I guess people notice because they see all this, cloud of whatever coming in, and they explained it to the people. Well, they were trying to figure out how to put a fog up so the enemy couldn't see the ground, or just something that I guess they thought the people would believe, and I guess the people did believe it. I don't know. But that was in the 50s and 60s. So all that sort of thing has been going on since at least then. And so let's see, what else? Whoops, this is not part of this. Unfortunately, when I started making these notes today, I I ran into some pages that were already written on, so it's all just a jumble. But those were just a few things that I noticed today that were just crazy. Let's see. I'm going to give you guys a tip. Maybe you won't be interested, but for my diehard fans, I'm going to give you a tip when we get closer to the end of this stream. It's 4:38. Let's see what people are talking about. Oh, I know. I know. That's hmm. Wow. Linda Woody has personal experience of this, what I was just talking about. I'm sure that Oakland would be, you know, someplace that would be targeted for the spray. Hubby was a baby and got pneumonia. They were sprayed with a strain of pneumonia. Let's see. Ah, Ken says he was born in 58 in St. Louis and remember a terrible smell, and they always blamed it on Monsanto. Well, who knows? I actually don't know. I used to be much more, have all my Monsanto facts like at the forefront of my frontal lobe, but I, with everything that's gone on, I mean, I, remember the innocent time when all we had to worry about was Monsanto? When we thought that's all we had to worry about was Monsanto and GMO and all of that. Wow. Wow. Seems like such a quaint time. 22.39. I think that means it is 11:40. Oh, wait, 11. Oh, something like 11:40 p.m. Uh, in the UK. Well, that ecocentric, that has been the problem for a long time. That's something I wanted to talk about. I forgot to take a note. So I had a woman working for me, and we're still very close. And her husband were from El Salvador. Actually, Eric was from El Salvador too. If you remember Eric, who worked in my garden. Denora, I heard a lot about El Salvador in the 15 plus years that she worked for me, and about how dangerous it was, how poor it was. And then, much later, there was a lot of talk about how the Chinese were taking over, et cetera. And, and that they tried crypto. And, I heard a lot about El Salvador. Okay, so I don't know if you're aware, but they had a very corrupt government or president or whatever. I can't be specific, but now they have a fantastic president. I don't know how that happened, since it seems like the powers that be pick the presidents all over the world. They all seem to somehow be connected to the World Economic Forum. But anyway, this guy is supposedly, I forget his name, but he's supposedly very good. And he made the rounds on social media about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he was saying, and he's obviously intelligent. He speaks perfect English, and but he's Salvadoran, and he said that it would have been unthinkable 20 years ago, 30 years ago, for Salvadorans not to want to come to a big city in the U.S. And he said now it's unthinkable to do that. No, that nobody wants to do that, because they see how bad it is in the cities. And so um, he was just talking about how the U.S. had plummeted in terms of a top destination. They'd rather stay. And I texted Denora, and I said, and I sent her the link of that video, and I said, you might be better off in El Salvador now, you know. And now she is an American citizen. She came here. A coyote brought her. I'm not sure about her husband. They they got married here. Yeah, but anyway, I know that she came that way and got into the country. But when she got into the country, she wanted to do the right thing. She worked really hard, and she became an American citizen. She took all the tests and everything. So she and her husband both did. and they pay taxes and everything. So, um, anyway, times have really changed when people in El Salvador don't even want to come to cities in the U.S. That's how far we've sunk. Oh, 10:40 p.m. Okay. Okay. Wait, 10:40 p.m. Well, you're in East Coast time, aren't you? I don't know. Eric and I had a falling out, Caroline, and he got mad, and he had a macho streak, and which is is typical, and he got his he got upset, and it was when I went to the apartment. And it was difficult for me too. It wasn't just difficult for him. It was very difficult to garden there. I couldn't make any noise because everybody had their windows open 24/7, 12 days, 12 months a year. And so I couldn't make any noise gardening, and I had to garden out in the alley. And I mean, it wasn't good for him. It wasn't good for me. And so I begged him. I literally begged him not to walk out angry, but he did it anyway. So that was the end of that. I think that might be his name, Caroline. I'm not sure. I don't have his name in my head. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. No, 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 no. It's not Melee. No, from Argentina. No, no, it's not him. It's not him. He's big in the news, but no, the other guy. The other guy's more subtle. This Melee is just like out there. He's not like that. The El Salvador guy's not like that. Um, Great, AJ. Thank you for joining. Eric was my garden helper once a week in California. You probably remember Eric. Um, Interesting. Susan knows more about it than I do. Uh, yeah, it's too bad for us, that our cities have gone to crap. Um, but I was talking to somebody yesterday. No, I guess it was my son I was talking to, and he has a friend that lives. Yeah, he had a friend that was. They were living in Asheville, near in their neighborhood for a while, and they always knew they were from New York, and they always knew they were going to go back to New York and live in New York. And I said, well, how do they like it? I mean, I lived in New York for 7 years, and I thought I'd never live anywhere else, but I would never live there now. But if I was from there and I had family there, I mean, I guess it would be a different story. But it just seems so bad. Did Betty Freckles ever show up? Is that his name, Ken? Thank you. If you looked it up. I wanted to mention what's going on in Canada, but there's no point in mentioning it if she's not here. Well, I'll just mention it anyway. Maybe she'll watch later. This is really hard to believe. Fantastic. Welcome, everybody. I didn't know 173 people were going to be watching. We're just talking about a little bit of the news. We've already kind of covered. There's no gardening really going on right now. I'll just mention that I did happen to mention when I was at the cedar mill, if anybody knew of somebody that might want to work 1 day a week. And so they recommended a guy. He's from Mexico, and originally, and he works at the mill full time, but he's looking for extra work. So we're gonna try out and see if he likes working for me 1 day a week. So he's gonna come on Saturday, and we're gonna get those raised beds put to bed for winter finally. So, but anyway, if you're just joining, thank you. Please hit the like button. We need about 40 more to get up to 174. And so now we're just going over a little bit of the news because my son's been here for 3 days and I got behind on everything. Gina's here. And that's what I think. I mean, but I guess if you're from NYC, you can still find beauty in being there. Hello, Barbara. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Gina. Um, anyway, this is sad. I think this is sad. Um, the Canadian government. You remember when there was so many people that in this country that used to be jealous of the healthcare system in Canada. And well, um, Jothan, ecocentric, you're in Canada, you know about this. Um, he's in Newfoundland. But there were a lot of people that used to just go, oh, why can't we have a healthcare like Canada, Uh, but Canada now has a program, and I just want to, I actually didn't actually, well, I mean, I know it's real because it's happening, but they are encouraging people to have, uh, if, I mean, you don't even have to have a terminal illness. And if you just feel despondent or depressed, or you feel like you can't go on, or you feel like, you're just never going to make it in life, and you want to end it, they have a program for that. And it's called MAID. And I think that stands for medically assisted, uh, medical assisting in death or something like that. And they, they actually have on average 36 people now per day that are choosing this. Now, let that sink in. 36 people a day that are choosing that. And that is very sad to me. Yeah, Karen's read about that. Linda's read about it. Right, right. And it's all part of that. Thank you, Ken. Ken just gave me a super chat donation of $5. Much appreciated. Cassandra Ruske is also sad about that. I just find that very sad that we're not encouraging life, encouraging people to find meaning in living, and we're just going, oh, we can help you with that. Good grief. Buddy's mom, can you put out that scripture for me, because I don't know it offhand. Uh, yeah, it's Oregon may have that. I don't know. I mean, I would not be surprised. Oregon is like, I know some of my followers do live in Oregon, and Oregon is a beautiful state. But the what is that expression? The crazies are running the hen house. What is that thing? Um, no, I know. It's not new, Jothan. It's not new. It just makes me very sad. Um, right, the foxes are guarding the hen house. Yeah, yeah, and there's that one. The lunatics are running the asylum. Oh, I just thought of something. Um, this is just one of my thing. How my brain just jumps around. Uh, so when I was young, very young. I mean, I was young. Uh, I I met um, Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas had, I don't know if you remember, but he had a very popular TV show called Streets of San Francisco. This is back when Streets of San Francisco just seemed so romantic and cool, and they're like racing around those hills and everything with those fast cars and all that stuff. And Michael Douglas was the sidekick of Gene Hackman, who, I mean, Who does not love that actor? I mean, he was just so fantastic. And yeah, I love that show. And so, his of course, his father was one of the most famous movie stars in Hollywood. Um, Michael Douglas and his father helped me out. Um, Played all those great roles. I'm blanking. Uh, Kirk, thank you. Anyway, so I met Michael uh, going through ski line on Aspen Mountain, and he was skiing with Jack Nicholson and Jack's then girlfriend, Angelica Houston. Gosh, I'm going back here. I can still remember what she was wearing, because when you're nobody and you meet somebody or you see someone, I mean, she just nodded at me. It's not like oh, how are you? How are you? Nice to meet you. No, no, she's breezed through. I was working on the ski hill. Anyway, Michael was feeling his oats, I suppose, because he had, like I said, he had a famous father, and he had all these connections. He had a hit TV show, so the world was his oyster at that time. And so he had evidently bought the book to this Broadway winning play or whatever, The Cuckoo's Nest. Did I say that right? Was it just The Cuckoo's Nest, or was it something? Yeah, I think it was Cuckoo's Nest. When we said that about the asylum, I just thought of that. Great movie. Great movie. Linda, help me out. Linda played Nurse Ratched. Oh my gosh, what a role. She was fantastic in that part. It was like she was chewing. You felt like when you looked at her that she could have crunched an I-beam, a steel I-beam in her jaws. She was just Nurse Ratched. Oh my God. I think she won an Academy. She had to have won an Academy Award. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Thank you. Oh my God. And Cassandra just watched that. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a story, Gina. I didn't know about this. Okay. Uh you mean in that movie, or what do you mean by that? We are the real stars. Thank you, Mountain Goddess. Wow, Cassandra just watched that movie. Anyway, Nurse Rat. I mean, I hadn't even the idea of becoming an actor hadn't even occurred to me. Um, it's just suddenly these three famous people are going through my lift line, and he flirts at me, and he said he would come back, and I would ski down with him in at the end of the day. And so he did. And you know, and I just remember Jack, he was the kind of skier. He's like like he was sort of like a child. A child sets their skis just flat and just goes, yeah, just straight down. Like children are just fearless on the ski slope. And if they fall, no big deal. If you're bigger like me and you fall, it's a big deal. But he just sort of went straight down, no style whatsoever, just real fast. But he had a house in Aspen, and I had driven by his house before, and so I knew where it was and all that. And so, and Angelica was wearing a ski parka, which was black pants and a pale pink ski parka. How I can remember this is beyond me. Um, and she had, this was before helmets. The idea of, you know, after Sonny Bono hit the tree uh, and wasn't wearing a helmet and died, you know, everybody started wearing helmets after that. I don't remember what year that was, but this was way before that. Nobody wore ski helmet. It just wasn't. I mean, nobody even, no, they weren't doing it. And so she had on a headband like they used to wear like in the 60s or something, one of those, you know, and it seemed, it's my recollection is it was pale pink to match the jacket. I could be wrong. She's brunette. Her hair was like to here and it just flowed, you know. And so anyway, I they came back by and I skied down with them. And that was my claim to fame with Michael Douglas. Okay, lure of the North including at least one specialized in their condition if the applicant is not near the frequently involves an injection administered at home. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she was always ready for her close up. She was John Huston's. John Huston, help me out. I want to say John Huston's daughter. Was it John or Walter? No. Oh gosh, I'm so bad. I used to know this stuff like the back of my head, but okay. Um, really? Netflix oh, well, if it's Netflix, it's got to be like graphic. You know, I used to watch Netflix in the beginning and I just did you I mean, were you like me and you just you thought, "Oh, this is so cool. I'm going to buy this streaming service." And then every series that they had on was darker and darker and more graphic and I after you watch it, you just feel dirty. And I said, I'm done with that. Um, Louise Fletcher, thank you. What an actress. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Annalisa, North Carolina. Okay, so regarding Canada, the procedure is only available to people covered by a Canadian healthcare program. It requires a written application and assessments from two independent medical practitioners, including at least one specialized in their condition if the applicant is not near their natural death. Well, anyway, yes, John Huston, Chinatown, another great movie with Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. Somebody I just thought was, oh my God, Faye Dunaway was just dream. Bonnie and Clyde, Faye Dunaway with Warren Beatty. Oh my gosh. And Gene Hackman. Don't forget Gene Hackman. And his wife was, I was just talking about her on my last live stream, if you can believe. But I'll never remember her name now. Yeah, can you help me out? Look it up. Pretty sure it's the same actress. And I think about 10 years ago, she was 80. She was either 80 or 85. And she was in a Broadway play. Always my dream to be on Broadway, always. And she would do to in preparation, to get herself going for the performance. She would do headstands, not hand and not like yeah, headstands. That's where you go all the way up on your head, so all the weight of your body's on your neck. That would kill me. My neck is degenerated. I couldn't do that if I tried. Um, Well, yes, they were. Cassandra is saying older movies are so much better because we weren't being this all this graphic stuff wasn't being pushed in our face. Now it's like almost a requisite that you have to have those scenes. Well, it has been that way for 15, 20 years. So Estelle Parsons, thank you very much. That's who I'm talking about. Um, who is Betsy Arakawa? I don't know who that is. Um, so we've talked about that. We've talked about that. We have 164 people, 10 people left. They either went to church or they didn't like what we were talking about. Let's see. I talked about the MAID program. And then, I actually wanted to check this before um, I'm going to check this. I meant to check this before, but I had so much to do. Human This is a mind blower. I just saw this and this list blew my mind. This is a real thing. They have a real website and it's called humanmeatproject.com. And they say one human body can feed up to 40 people, 65 kilograms of meat, and you get all the nutrients that you need. And they're claiming we could end the world's starvation if we went if we did this. And you can look it up online, and on the tabs at the top, it looks like a very cheap website. Uh, you can register your choices. You can make a donation. End date and harvest time. I know that's disgusting, but this is a real thing. And it just like goes along with all of this other stuff. Is just like the depopulation thing is just closing in. And what are we to do, humans? What are we to do? God's greatest gift are children. And I don't think it's just me that feels that way. I think a lot of people feel that way. And those are the most, those, that's what's, well, I'm not even going to get into all that. That's just too much. But anyway. Carla by the lake says, but heaven forbid we should eat the cows. Right? Oh, yeah. Winsome, wait, Winsome. Okay, we're going to get off all these topics. I know. Rick, were you around when that movie came out? I was horrified by that movie. And I had like bad dreams about it for the longest time. Yeah, Teresa. Yeah. And Linda, so many people are familiar with that movie. Dean, I don't know, Christian Oliver and his two daughters. I don't know what happened. Let us know what you're talking about. Well, that's what they say. They say even Disney is awful now. Tommy Steele. I don't know who Tommy Steele is. Can you believe Doris Day? I don't think she ever married. She was so delightful. She was lovely. She had a beautiful singing voice. She was a great actress. She got to work with all the big stars in Hollywood. But then she became an animal advocate. And I mean, I don't know her whole story, but I just know oh, I see. Gene Hackman's first wife. I don't know. You're just putting little bits and pieces. So I didn't follow the thread there, Teresa. I don't either, Lonnie. I reject evil. Right. Daryl says, what do you think they've been stuffing hot dogs with all these years? There is no telling, unless you buy organic, pure meat hot dogs and you read the ingredients and you know who you're getting them from. I wouldn't trust it. I would absolutely not. Some of the videos that I've seen about food production, I mean, I saw this one video. I'm trying to think oh yeah, it was crab legs. There was this vat of, it was like a ton, it was a 1 ton vat of white paste looking stuff. And they put it into this machine with this big stirrer thing, and everybody's wearing, the hats and the all the, stuff. and gloves and all of that. And it goes from one big machine to the next big machine to the next big machine. And they're adding this liquid white pasty gook. And it just goes on and on and on. And then they put in some pink dye and it goes on and on and on and on. And then it starts getting formed into something. And then it goes on and on. I mean, there's like this huge, huge machinery to produce this food product. And you get to the end of it. Guess what it is? Who can guess? Who can guess? No. Okay. Lure of the North. What false stories have what have I talked about? What is false? There is a website. You can look it up. What false stories? There's nothing false here. You have numerous people that confirm the MAID story, that the MAID program in Canada. Even a Canadian um, said that that's a real program. So no, it's not bubble gum. It's crab legs. Crab legs. And by the time it comes out of the machine, it actually looks like crab legs. And then they put it in little containers, you know, like you see in the grocery store, and put a label on it and ship it out. And I mean, I don't know if there's any part of it that's actually, well, crabs aren't fish, but fish material. I don't know if there's anything like that in it, or if it's all made out of soy, or I don't know what it's made out of. I assume it's made out of soy because you can make so many food items out of soy. But oh, thank you, Kathy. Is surimi like crab leg, or is it supposed to be like a little piece of fish? I mean, it looked like a crab leg. It didn't say, but I thought it was crab legs. Maybe it's. So, are you saying that that it started out with was fish material, ground up fish material? I think it's imitation crab, right? Oh, surimi is basically fish formed into a crab-like product. Ooh, Lynn, did you have real crab legs, Lynn, or did you have this imitation stuff? Yeah, that's what I think it was. Yeah, I mean, if it's really made out of fish, that's one thing, but it looked like it was paste or something. I don't know. It was very unappetizing. Tasteless, fine textured fish. I guess people eat something that's tasteless just because it's cheaper than real fish, maybe, and that's all they can afford. They sold them as real. Oh, the ones that made you sick, they sold as real. Okay. Ken, that's funny. Okay, so let's see. What else? Anybody have any questions? Oh, I wanted to show you. Remember last week I said, I wonder where the songbook is. Not that I'm going to sing, but I wonder where the songbook is that my mother put together. that it was pink. It was a pink folder. It was a pink folder. I found it. These are not Christmas songs. Christmas is over anyway. It doesn't matter. This is a long poem that my mother wrote about. It's literally 4.5 pages. That my mother used to write a lot of poems. She wrote the class poem when she graduated from a small high school in Alabama, and she wrote this about my father, and she called it "That Particular Man," and it's a pretty great poem. And then let's see, some other stuff is stuck in here, but she's got songs in here, and I was just going to read you. My mother would go to the outreach center at the church, and at that time, I don't guess she considered herself a senior at that time. And so she would go and get all the the seniors would come and sing, and she put together all of these old songs that that maybe some of you remember. Froggy Went a Courtin'. Anybody remember Froggy Went a Courtin'? I don't think I even know the tune to that. Yankee Doodle, obviously, everybody remembers that. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Old Dan Tucker. How's that go now? I'll read the lyrics. I don't remember the tune. Now, Old Dan Tucker's a fine old man, washed his face in a frying pan, combed his head with a wagon wheel, and dried with a toothache in his heel. Died with a toothache in his heel. Get out of the. Let's see. Get out of the way, old Dan Tucker. I can't remember. You're too late to get your supper. Get out of the way, old Dan Tucker. You're too late to get your supper. Who remembers that one? Frankie and Johnny. I think somebody made a hit out of Frankie and Johnny. Frankie and Johnny were lovers. Oh, Lordy, how they could love. They swore to be true to each other, true as the stars above. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong. Oh, Susanna, oh, don't you cry for me. Let's see. How's it go? Let's see. Gosh, this doesn't look like it's. Let's see. Come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. I'm going to Louisiana, my true love to see. Oh gosh, it's been such a long time. Anyway, that's some of the ones that my mother had in her book, and of course she had a contents page because my mother. And then so she had all these books. She had probably like 30 of these books with all the songs you just saw, and she had these, and she'd hand them out and let's sing. So that's my mother. Now I've talked about my mother many times, and so she used to make a scrapbook for everything. She used to say, oh, they're talking about raising quail. That's awesome. And anyway, my mother, I just found this yesterday. And my mother she always said, save everything. And she had me saving everything. So this is sort of like a scrapbook. She came out to California for my son's I guess it would have been he was wearing a gown, so it must have been his junior high graduation. And so she took all these pictures. I don't even remember her having a camera, but she took all these family pictures and all this stuff. And then she made a book, and just in its visit to Kaye's house, June 9th to June 15th, 2003. And look at the size of this thing. So that's my mother for you. Okay. I have not started any seeds. I haven't even gotten organized to do that. And I was wondering, is anybody starting onion seeds? Is Mark Valerie on the chat? Is anybody else started any seeds? I'm telling you, Lynn, can you imagine? It broke my heart to give up my piano. Absolutely broke my heart, but there's just nothing I could do. I did, Ken? Oh, you're right, I did. um, I don't know if I'll get my greenhouse. The thing is, when the wind blows, man, it really blows. And I've heard so many stories about people losing so I really am not interested in doing a high tunnel or anything. And anyway, it's a hillside over here. I can't do anything way down there. So I just don't see how it can happen. I'm sort of on the wrong property for a greenhouse. Um, mm, I am trying to think if I saw that, Susan. I'm not sure if I did. You sowed your chilies today? Are you going to grow them in your? Well, you have allotment gardening. You probably got a greenhouse, Rob, right? See, that's the thing about a house. It's like, what's going on here? Here we go. Green onions for weeks. I've got a few out there because we haven't had those temperatures down in the teens yet. Daryl, when are we going to have those? I've still got the broccoli plants still look decent under the plastic, but all the big heads I've eaten. So I don't know. Do you think I should just cut those down and be done with that, or what should I do? Somebody said I should harvest the broccoli leaves, that they were very good, but I haven't done that. Maybe I should. Let's see. Carla by the lake put sprouted onion in the bed. Her son is growing different trees. Yeah, I know, Linda. Linda G. Yeah. Well, we'll see if we'll see. I mean, they really want to shut down supplement companies and stuff. So if people are getting into the fruit and vegetable pills instead of actually eating the fruit and veggies, we'll see how that goes. I have no idea how that's going to go. Linda Woody has a terrible grasshopper problem, and I haven't had that. I don't have any suggestions. You guys know, have you ever had that? I believe you're in the high desert, aren't you, Linda, or something? And they just destroy everything. Yeah, I don't think I want to start seeds. I mean, the only thing I might start is onion seeds. I'm really not ready. I want to work on my house. Okay, so Rob is growing under grow lights. Um, Caroline bought something off Facebook Marketplace. Oh, you mean like a greenhouse or something? Mm. Are you talking about my cup? It is a beautiful color. Mm. I actually have
Well, I broke my one that said homestead. You know, I had two, right? And she made these for me exclusively gardener. And then she did some homestead and some gardener. And then she just did a batch of homestead. And, but the ones I used in the house, the homestead one I broke. But I think I have a few in the garage. And I was thinking about doing some sort of a giveaway, or I don't know. I'm just not good at all that kind of stuff. And I haven't gotten my, with my son being here and just trying to get well, I haven't done anything about my seeds, and that is like my goal in the next 2 days. However, today I heard that my mother was in pain, and so I don't know if that is significant or if it's just she was uncomfortable. So I mean, it's so hard to know. And I've got a cousin who collapsed last, let's see, it would be, goodness, Friday a week ago. She was in the ICU for a while and she's home. And then now I haven't heard from her husband, who is my cousin. She's his wife. And she was having a very hard time as of Friday, and I haven't heard anything. So got a bunch of stuff on my mind, but I've got to get the seeds posted. And I've got to get my email addresses fixed. My son and I tried for an hour yesterday and got absolutely nowhere. I have three email addresses and I have three devices, and they all behave differently on each device. And Walker seemed to think that it was the same problem. We weren't able to sort it out. It's a it's it's a it's a password or a setting problem, but it's going to cost me $100 to talk to tech support. And Walker said, I'm not doing that. So I've got that to look forward to. Oh wow, Lynn's got lots of turnip greens and mustard greens. Did anybody answer me about the broccoli leaves? Wow. Karen, when did you sell onions? You mean you sold onions back last spring or when? Yeah, I never got that other row of garlic done. And I still have all my garlic from last year. Just gave a bunch to Walker. And he took some sweet potatoes home. Ah, your attic into a grow room. How do you manage the water situation? I'm always afraid, because I'm always watering. So I go from my kitchen sink to my grow station. I guess you have to be just extremely careful not to spill water if it's upstairs in your attic. Um, Kathy, if you're asking me, I do have grow lights. I have the best grow lights. They're made in the United States by a family company called Grow It LED. And if you buy from them, you can use my discount code, and that's underneath every video. All the discount codes, and I have all the seeds, and I highly recommend the Survival Seeds has a new medicinal herb seed packet, and so you can get my links and I also have botanical interests and also have Haas. So if you're buying anything from those companies, please use my discount code. Help support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Let's see. Rob says he has videos showing his sowing. So that's on his channel. And we need to go to Rob's Allotment Gardening and check that out. Let's see. Auction them. I have no idea how to do that, Kat. No idea. I'm just not, as you can see from setting up tonight, I'm not that technical. But Rick, how do you prepare the leaves? Because I should just go out and harvest them before it gets any colder. You know, I can't imagine I'm going to get any more big broccoli heads because, you know, once we get into the teens, you know, every night. So already sowed your onions. Wow. Oh my gosh, you have a tap in the attic. How clever. If you have a tap up there, you got a drain up there. So that's great, but tell me how to prepare them because when I can go out and cut my broccoli, you know, broccoli and it'll have 2 or 3 leaves. And by the time I get inside, I lay it on the counter for like 20 minutes, those leaves are wilted. So, I mean, you literally have to cook them within 5 minutes of cutting them. So tell me how to do it. Are you talking about direct sow onions, Caroline? Yeah, I tried the Dixondale method. I have a video from my Dixondale planting, and then Mark got me last year. He said he just had so much more luck with starting from seed. So I ordered a bunch of onion seed, which I still have plenty. So I was just going to do that again since I've got the seed. Yeah, I grow red Malabar spinach. Yeah. It's I hope it comes back. I didn't save any seed from last year, but it came back I planted it. I started starts. I actually don't know if I have any more seed from like before. I may. I'm gonna have to go through and look and see what I've got, but it grows up. I have this netting thing that it grows up. You know, you got to train it to go up it, but it will. And so it came back last year. It wasn't as much as the year before, but that's probably because I didn't take care of it. But it's really great in stir fry. The Bye Cassandra. Let's see. Is anybody gonna is anybody gonna tell me how to can Malabar be grown in zone 6? Well, this is 7A and it grows fine here. So it grows like a weed in Phoenix though. So you could try. Caught up, stir frying butter with onions and garlic. Ooh, that sounds good. Okay, good. Do you just lay the whole leaf out on the table, or do you cut it up first, or how do you do, or do you take the stem out because the leaf is going to dry like that, whereas the stem is going to take a long time. So I'm wondering, what do you do with Upper Sky DJ? Are you a DJ? Eat it, Dean. You eat the broccoli leaves raw. I could do that. Let's see. Wonderful. Are you talking going to send me seeds, Marilee? Is my niece Holly watching? I think my niece Holly is watching. She just texted me. She says she has the same pink folder. She says her mother used to sing these songs in her classes at school or church. Um, what was her favorite song, Holly? What was my sister's favorite song? Buddy's mom says everything is good with butter. I mean, really, you can't go wrong, can you? Charlie Yar says, "What's my favorite tomato to grow?" I assume you're asking me. I have more than one. My favorite green tomato is Aunt Ruby's green, and my favorite yellow tomato is um, Yoder's German yellow. It makes a big tomato. It takes a really long time to develop, so that those cause issues. You have the longer it takes to develop, the more chance you have of bugs and failure. But they're fantastic if you get them. And then I would say my favorite red tomato. Ooh, I gotta say that Gary Osena is right up there. But that would be very similar to purple Cherokee. I think that's not a red tomato though. Let's see. Favorite red tomato. Well, my favorite paste tomato is Amish paste. Uh, what is my favorite red tomato? I'm never growing those tiny little cherry tomatoes again. That was just a pain in the bottom. Let's see. Angela Pretty is here late. We talked about a lot of different things, Angela, and I hope you'll go back and watch. I'm going to be signing off pretty soon. Let's see. Plastic grocery bag with little water sprinkled over them. They're fine for a week. Okay, good to know. And I have avocado oil and garlic. That sounds great. I'm going to do that. I'm also going to do the butter one. Malabar spinach is going to grow very different from regular spinach. It's a completely it's a succulent. It's a completely different plant. Um, so it's very tough. Cut the stem and leaves up before stir fry. The whole broccoli leaves will keep in fridge for weeks. If rinsed in water, then okay. So Rick confirms with Karen. How to garden? Well, hello there. Thank you for joining. We're getting close to the end here, but maybe you'll go back and watch it. Appreciate it. Let's see. Oops, jumped. I haven't tried hillbilly tomato. I wouldn't mind. I think I've heard of it. Lemon Boy is a determinant, I'm pretty sure, right? I grew Lemon Boy one of my first years, but I haven't grown it since. I haven't grown any determinants since then. Did anyone ever grow live in a puff? I don't know what that is. Okay, so then the question, Karen, is how long am I going to expect that to not succumb to the freezing weather? It's covered in 6 mil plastic. I opened it up yesterday and it looked good, but we haven't had any temperatures down in the teens either. Okay, cool. Fantastic. Merrily. Take the stem out and cut the leaves into strips and either put in salads or wilt. Okay. Okie dokie. 155 of you are still here. I really appreciate you. And please don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Please share this channel with a friend. Um, and everybody, please let me know. I never said I was going to start doing lives again. I was just going to do a couple over the holidays because I had literally had this cold for 6 weeks and haven't been able to produce content. I threw that little video together with Fred. Fred is such a cool dog, and I thought maybe I know there's a lot of dog lovers, and I thought you just might enjoy seeing Fred run around. And somehow Walker and I got that whole shop organized. It's the first time I had cleaned off the shelves since my employee was here the first year. And I found a to-do list that he wrote that was on the shelf. And the one thing I could not find, I had looked there several times. I could not find my staple gun. And it was the very last shelf that I cleaned off after doing the whole day. It was like 4 o'clock. I cleaned off that last shelf, and there is the staple gun right there. So what I was going to do, and I talked to Patty in Kentucky. They have a big garden. You know, they do a market garden, and so they have a big garden, and they use weed cloth. And so they just cut the plants and let everything, all the roots and everything, just decompose into the soil over the winter. And then in the spring, they just put the plants right back in those holes in the wheat cloth. They burn holes in the wheat cloth. Well, I can't see that working in my raised beds, but I have to do something because, as Danny at Deep South told me in a comment, you can't get rid of nutgrass. Just keeps coming back. I mean, I think at least nutgrass you can pull it out, but crabgrass is just, it's like ropes that go down. I don't know how far. You just can't. It's horrible, the crabgrass that comes up. Now I know crabgrass is like a needle and it'll go straight through weed cloth, weed fabric. But I was thinking, Patty suggested that I take the dirt down in the rebuilt raised beds, two of which haven't been done yet, but because it's too cold, he hasn't been back to finish. But anyway, the dirt is just still sitting on the side. So this guy that I talked to yesterday, he's coming on Saturday, and that is the task for next Saturday. Hopefully the weather's decent. And we're going to take it down. She said, "Can you take most of the dirt out? Put the weed cloth down as low as you can." And I was going to actually use the staple gun, you know, because weed cloth shifts around every time you start stirring up the dirt. So put the weed cloth, staple gun it all the way around the raised bed, and then put all the dirt back on top of it. Put manure in there and top it off with the crushed leaves and just leave it. Gosh, before you know it, it'll be time to plant something. It'll be like 2 months from now. It'll be time to plant something in there. Although I'm really seriously, I may take Daryl's advice and not do brassicas till the fall because I didn't have any aphids on this broccoli. He started the plants and gave me little plants, and I've never had, I've never grown beautiful broccoli like that ever. And for I think 6 or 7 days straight, I was cutting ahead, not huge, but I was cutting ahead and eating it raw in salads for like 6 days straight. I think this is before, yeah, before I caught the cold. And then for 2 weeks, I just ate chicken soup. All right, let's see. Froggy would go a wooing. I remember that too. I don't know how it goes. So, wow. Rain for a month. That would be tough. But you're on the coast, right? Well, Susan, I never used wheat cloth. I didn't have wheat cloth. So that's why she was saying. And I have a roll. It says I don't know if it says the best or extreme, or it has some, you know, super strength, or it's I got it at Tractor Supply. It's not the good stuff she was recommending that she buys at the Amish store in Kentucky. But I'm not going to be going up to the Amish store in Kentucky. If you order a big roll, she said the shipping costs more than the than the wheat cloth. So I was just going to use this one, the one that I had, and I did talk to the guy at the one mistake that people make with wheat cloth is they just overlap it like 2 or 3 inches. And he goes, no, no, you have to overlap it 1 foot. That's why, because the weeds, if you just overlap it this much, even when I was at Patty's, I could see that, by the time you walk on it, and if you've only overlapped it like 3 or 4 inches, it pulls apart and you've got gaps and the weeds come straight through. And I saw that at Patty's, and I was telling her what he said, and she said, yeah, we're gonna redo ours and overlap it more. But anyway, I haven't actually used any. Those extra long, those extra Um, well, I have the extra long lawn staples, Susan. If you mean the ones that go up like that and down, and they're like that tall, is that what you're talking about? I have those, but they are heavy duty. That's for like holding down a tarp. Melly B, yes, I did grow up I was born in Tennessee and I grew up here, and I was educated at the university, and then I left for a long time. Did Linda say bye? Until next time. So when is next time? Let's talk about that real quick. Yeah, I've tried cardboard. I did it twice on my terraces, uh, ecocentric, and by the next year, it's all just back. I don't even know if I'm going to do anything on the terraces this year because they're covered in crabgrass, and I would just have to start over. So yeah, hate rhizome grasses. Um, Susan, can you just, in a comment underneath the live, can you just put the item name that because Patty said this good stuff you can get on Amazon, but it's more expensive than getting it from the Amish store. They do carry it, she said, on Amazon. Okay, Lonnie, see ya. Well, see, that's just the thing. If you're going to put the wheat cloth on top, on your top layer, that's how they do it up there because they got a big garden and a big market garden. I'm talking about for the raised beds. She was saying put it down as low as you can so you get all the nutrition from the grass above that. And then the only weeds you're going to get are the ones that birds are dropping this weed seed. So if anybody has any thoughts on that, please let me know because the guy's coming on Saturday and we're going to do it. I could put it on top, but then I would have to burn holes in it to put plants in. Do people burn holes in weed cloth in raised beds? I don't know. I've never done it. Let me know what you think. Well, Kristen, that sounds just fantastic. And I would love for you just to come here and make that for me. Every time I watch a cooking video about rolled cabbage leaves with this and that, it looks like so much work. You got to prepare all the cabbage leaves, and you got to prepare all the meat and the rice, and then you got to put it all together, and you got to bake it. And it's a lot of work. So I haven't done it. See you, Rob. Thank you so much for joining. God bless you. My triangle bed. I had wow, Caroline's got a good memory. I had a, let's see, what do you call this? Trapezoid? I had a bed like that. Is that a trapezoid? I'm a little tired. That's probably the one you're talking about because I didn't have that many beds. Um, I didn't have any weeds in California. No, no, I had no weeds. You know why? Because it doesn't rain. So no, I didn't ever have weeds in California.
Daryl had to get around to the subject of bamboo. One where that's a stretch, Daryl, but yeah, okay. It's true. Bamboo is a grass and it is a rhizome. Linda Dubois says, "We'd love to see you in spring for planting." Are you talking to me, Linda? And if so, what do you mean? Daryl, Lynn is wanting cane poles. Lynn, if you decide to buy them, I found really good bamboo poles on Amazon. Not cheap, but you buy these like the bundle, like a Tractor Supply or something, and they break so easily, and they're skinny on one end and thick on the other end, and sometimes skinny all the way down. And I don't know how they got them uniform in this particular Amazon, and you might be able to find them in my any if you go to Amazon and you're not already committed to supporting another channel, you can go through my link, and anything you order at no extra cost to you can benefit my channel. I don't think I've added those bamboo poles to my storefront, but if you go to amazon.com/shop/late bloomer show and you do a search for these bamboo poles, but they come in a plastic bag, and I bought 8 footers, and they are that big around, really good quality. But Mara Lee, the question is, do you put weed cloth on top of raised beds? That's my question. Okay, Acre Homestead does weed fabric on raised beds. Thank you, Lori. Yeah, see, that's just it. Well, I talked to Patty about that, Charlie Yar, and she was saying that they have weed cloth. They have 8-inch soil in their raised beds in their greenhouse, and then they have weed cloth underneath that. And she said that it's no problem because the roots will just go out. That's what she said. See you, Lynn. Let's see. Do I miss California? No. I gave California the best years of my life and my absolute best effort, and I don't miss it at all. It's a beautiful state. The natural beauty is stunning. The agriculture is amazing, and um, and you can get such wonderful food. It's not cheap, and I'm sure it's a lot more expensive now. But if I were to miss anything, that would be what I would miss. But in all the years, decades that I was there, I went to Yosemite twice. I went to the redwood forest, to what's it called? The redwood forest. I forget the name of it. Um, Once, and most of my sightseeing in California was driving back and forth from my house to Stanford when Walker was in school. So, and I never went in the beach. I never was out in the sun because I burn like a potato chip. So, you get enough wrinkles without that. I did. So anyway, oh, good to know. You're right. I put some cheap weed cloth down around my terraces, and it works its way up, and the weed whacker hits it, and I've got these shredded pieces of weed cloth everywhere. I mean, believe me, I don't want to even go there. I don't want to use
weed cloth at all, but there won't be any weed whacking going on in my raised beds. So that's why I was thinking of doing it. Yeah, see, if you have a ecocentric is saying living traditions, yeah, they have a big hoop house, and they have a big plan, market garden, and all this. So they know where they're going to put everything. And if I was that well planned, I could do something like that. But I don't have the faintest idea where I'm going to put anything. I don't have anything planned yet. Let's see. Okay. Hmm. Everything, so you could just go in through my link and not order a single thing from my store, and anything that you order, I will get. I mean, literally, it's pennies, but pennies add up. And but upper sky in raised beds or just on in ground? Acre Homestead. I'll have to check that out. I don't follow them. I know a lot of people do a lot of great things, and it's sometimes I feel like I can't even get through my own email. Jen, thank you very much. Gosh, it was worth staying on an extra half an hour just for that. Oh. Um, let's see. Okay. Thank you so much. Can burn holes in as you go. Just let the fabric cool. That makes me so nervous to think about doing that. But the urban gardener, yeah, Enoch, I need to contact you to find out. My son's been here. I just been over too busy, but I want to contact you to find out how to do the steam yard thing. Let's see. You're welcome. I was in the giant sequoias when Walker, who was just here, was in diapers, and I was a young mom who was determined to do everything natural. And I remember we got a little cabin or something in the sequoias, and I remember washing out the his cloth diapers and hanging them on the railing of the porch. That's about all. But besides the big beautiful trees, that's about all I remember from that trip. It was 30 years ago. Um, but it's beautiful up there. That's not what giant sequoias is not what I was thinking of though. I just went there in 2019 with my neighbors and spent a wonderful week there. Gosh, it keeps jumping. I'm trying to get to the bottom. Yes, thank you, Daryl, for refocusing. Are we going to have another live stream? How do you guys feel about it? How, guys and ladies, do you is this something that you want to do? I know that somebody wrote me today and said that this now conflicts with their church on Sunday nights and with 3 o'clock. I asked, I haven't heard back. I don't think I've heard back. Would 3 o'clock be better? It's just that, I could only do that probably until the end of March. And when it starts getting warmer, people are going to be wanting to be outside at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. So let me know if we should do another live stream, and let's decide like right now before I get off. Use the torch on the strings. Use the torch on the strings of the weed cloth. It will seal it and clean it up. I don't have a torch. I mean, unless you're just talking about the lighter. Let's see. Thank you, Sue. That's really appreciated. Yeah, James Prigioni is actually an affiliate with Ivy Organic, who I am also an affiliate, and we do Zooms together. And 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 when he's on there, I'm just going, "It's James!" So excited to see him on there. Um, and he had some great tips and stuff, but he's totally focused on his channel. He's a very successful channel. Um, and of course, he, when you once you have a really successful channel like that, you can get some help. And he has more exciting videos because he can be talking and walking at the same time. Well, I could talk and walk at the same time with the microphone, but he can go like that, and the camera can go whoop, like that, and that's because somebody's standing on the other side of the camera going whoop, so so that would be nice, but anyway, no weed cloth needed in square foot gardening. Oh my goodness. 87 pounds of turnips and Jerusalem artichokes yesterday in Nashville for the. Oh, I forgot that you're the person that I was going to bring sweet potatoes to, right? I'm so sorry. My son's been here and I've just been busy. I have sweet potatoes, but I harvested them now 2 months ago. So I can bring you some. Um, okay, thank you so much, Marilee. I'm going to get off. Are we doing this Sunday? Oh no. She accidentally created perfect conditions for wasps last summer. She put branches, then leaves, and dirt to add space to the garden. Oh gosh, wasps. That's scary. Gosh, it just jumped. There's so many things here. I'm going to have to just get off. Ah, Green bean. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Carla by the Lake says she likes my live streams. They seem like a visit with friends, and they are. Almost everyone is a friend who watches. We have one or two that aren't friends, but I think that's a pretty good ratio. Um, 3 or 4. Cooking is not easy, and now it's very expensive too. I know. Okay, Jupe wants another live stream, but yes, but maybe earlier. What about 3 p.m.? A gas torch. I will have to get it. I'll make a note, Cami. Gas torch. You got my email. Just would you send me a link to the one you have? Thank you, Dean. Well, wait, I have a propane torch. I have one of these. Is this what you're talking about? I don't know if that's what you're talking about. It's kind of fat to be working with it though. Small butane torch. Well, isn't that what? Isn't that what this is? Isn't this a butane torch? Oh, $40. Okay. Oh darn. You have to do lives when it's best for you and you can never please everyone. I'd prefer early Saturday AM. Jeremy. Okay, I'll just watch everybody. Please just check. As soon as you get done with this, please just check and make sure that you're still subscribed. Oops, sorry. I keep looking at my computer. Still subscribe to my channel. Click all for all notifications. Somebody wrote me again yesterday and said, yeah, I checked and I was unsubscribed and they're regular viewers. So please check. And let's see. Susan is in a total whiteout. Wow. I remember one time being in a total whiteout. I was on top of, I want to say it was Roan Mountain. Roan Mountain in, I think that would be Virginia. And we got to the top and it was bald up there and it was snow all over. And because it was maybe it's called Bald Mountain, I forget. Anyways, it was total like this, the whole top of the mountain. So when you started down, there was there were no marks, and it was a total whiteout. We we didn't get lost, but it was interesting. Wasps eat all my monarch caterpillars in Phoenix. What kind of wasp? That's terrible. Thank you, Paula. I'm glad you learned something. I'm just trying to get. I'm just trying to get the bottom. Yeah, Kat, I agree. Wow. Oops. Thank you, Larry. I did not know that. So I should just screw off the end of it. You just keep this tightened and then, all right, I'll find out the right way to do that. Okay. Sequoias. Thank you. Ah, gosh, I'm trying to remember that, Teresa, and I don't remember. I've never made creme brulee, but it sounds fantastic. Thank you, thank you, Jeremy. Harbor Tools Freight propane with 3 burners from Harbor Freight. Okay. Harbor Freight propane torch. All right. And 25 bucks. Okay. Angela loves the lives. Thank you, Caroline. I remember Mario Lanza, but I don't remember I don't think I remember the donkey serenade. Yeah, somebody else mentioned broccoli dehydrating. But my question is, with dehydrating broccoli leaves, do you cut off the stem because the stem is going to take a lot longer to dry? Um, Let me know. Oh my gosh, Green Bean is saying that putting fruit and veggie scraps in the garden for several years and then
The raspberries were surrounded by wasps. They were eating them because flies were laying eggs. Mm. Thank you, Delia. She was unsubscribed. See how that happens? Oh my goodness. Yeah, wasps are vicious. Hey, I got to the end of the chat. Thank you so much. God bless you all. And I think that was all I was going to talk about today. Right. Dehydrate the whole leaf and blend it into a powder once dry. Hi, Cindy. I'm getting off. If you just joined, please hit that like button and come back next time. We're gonna probably well, Daryl, should we do it at 3? Some people said 3 was better. God bless you, Debbie. Thank you, everyone. Watch for my post for the live stream. We'll say, oh, I don't know. I'm getting 3 o'clock. Let's just try one at 3 next week and see how it goes. I mean, I kind of hate to do that only because now we've had 3 at 4 o'clock and we had more people each time. So I'll think about it. Just watch for the announcement, okay? I'll make sure that. Thank you so much, Kat. Thank you so much, Ken. Thank you, everyone. And well, I wanted to visit her today, but that didn't happen. Um, okay, 3 o'clock is better for some people. I hope I can see my mother tomorrow or the next day. So it'll either be 3 or 4 o'clock. So just watch the announcement. I'll make sure the announcement's up at least a day or two before, so you'll have time to make a plan. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Thank you for my super chats, donations. Thank you for supporting the channel in any way that you do, and also thank you to my monitors. So now that I see that this thing actually works, I'll try to tweak it a little bit so I don't have to do so much tweaking in the beginning. And I see that the light is kind of low, and so I'll work on that. Thank you so much. God bless you, and see you next time.